political analyst Mark Meirowitz in Ashbury Park in New Jersey. Great to speak to you again on the News Hour. Mark, let's talk about the whistleblower that we've been mentioning. What do you think the fallout will be from Dr. Rick Bright, especially with regards to President Trump's image and his handling of the whole COVID-19 since it was first reported?
Well, I actually looked at the complaint and read through it. I happen to be a lawyer also. And honestly, I think it's pure politics. And I'll tell you why. He wrote up this, he has a lawyer writing a 55-page complaint that he hired. And when you read it through, really what it's about is Rick Bright going to Congress, going to White House officials on his own. And whether it's meritorious or not, in all administrations, this kind of, being the heroic person, and, maybe he was right in retrospect. Maybe he was right about all these things. But watch it. He's going to the House to go and testify. And this is deja vu. Remember the last whistleblower complaint about Ukraine? Where did that go? To impeachment. So the Democrats, there's something going on here that is politicizing this issue. Whether he's right or not about what happened to him is beyond the point. I'm not making a legal analysis of it, but it's been totally politicized.
Okay, Mark, how big does this go? Does this go like as big as the previous whistleblower?
Absolutely not. I mean, look, the handling of this by the administration has not been optimal. It's very clear. But if you look at the strategy, including your previous report about the opening, what Trump is trying to do is he is working his schedule towards the November election, hoping that he can open up the society and then win the election. This is what this is about. This whistleblower thing, I mean, is the House going to impeach Trump again? The impeachment of Trump with this first time around was a catastrophic error on the part of the Democrats, and in my opinion, could lose them the election. Because people remember, even though we're in the middle of the COVID-19 crisis, people remember the enormous waste of time to take the country through this thing, and then to go to the Senate, acquit the president, and then we were hit with COVID-19. And I have to also disagree, if I may, respectfully, with the point about the president's authority. The president's authority is very widespread. If you remember in 9/11, the executive closed the country completely due to a national threat. And so the president's authority is really quite extensive. Can the president lock down the country? Well, under certain circumstances, he could. So the bottom line is, this is all politics. It's all kicking up dust in politics. Whether Dr. Bright is right or not is besides the point, in my opinion.
Mark, on politics, what do you understand by winding down the task force?
Extraordinary decision, and really I think it's a strategic decision, once again, in the thought that he can wind it down, open up society, and then go into the November election. Now, what's the problem with that is that a lot of the scientists are predicting another re-up of the COVID, another epidemic coming up in the fall. If that happens, then that strategy will have been proved to be very, very disastrous. But I think they're trying to bet on the fact that if they can do contact tracing, social distancing, and all the other things that people have become accustomed to, that maybe they can keep the level either plateaued or lowering. I also read that the virus itself is mutating and maybe weakening, so they're looking at different factors. To my mind, the winding down of the task force and not having Dr. Fauci there is a really big mistake, because it adds confidence to the American people in terms of going forward and day to day in dealing with this.
Mark, just a yes or no question. The last time we spoke, you said you were doubtful that we'd have a presidential election in November because of COVID-19. Yes or no? Do you think it's going to happen? Very quickly.
Well, I think it will happen, and I think the courts will not delay the elections. They haven't done that. We keep seeing that the courts want the elections to take place. They're going to figure out how to do it, if it has to be by mail or by computer.
They will do it. Mark Meirowitz, always a pleasure to speak to you on the News Hour. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Maria.